Well, it wasn't all that long ago that nearly everyone wore a watch just to tell time. Now with the invention of smartwatches, you can get the time, your email, monitor your level of fitness, yada, yada, yada. Joining us this morning with more is online security expert David Papp with some tips on what to look for when you're buying a smartwatch. Good morning, David.
Morning, Mike.
Nice to see you.
You bet.
I don't think we've seen you since the new. I think we're allowed to say Happy New Year.
Yeah, you bet.
We've decided you have until the end of January if you haven't seen somebody.
Right.
So Happy New Year. Today we're going to be talking about these smart watches. You've brought a couple of them with you here today.
I have.
So what are the ones that you have with you now?
One of these is a Garmin Phoenix, and the other one is called
just hold those up to the
Sunto.
camera so they
You
can see
bet.
those. Yeah, there you go.
So the idea behind these is that they've become more than just a regular watch, right? They're like little computers on our wrists. And to be honest, the smartwatches have overtaken the fitness trackers that everybody used to have, like yourself.
I wouldn't say used to have. I mean,
Well, still have.
Yes, because they're still marketed quite a bit.
Actually, Fitbit is the most popular fitness tracker out there by far, no doubt about it. But smartwatches like the Apple Watch are now overtaking the sales of fitness trackers. And that's because of the features that come in these. I have different watches, and the reason for that is because they have different purposes. My smartwatch that I use for my Garmin is for my when I go bicycling or hiking and stuff like that. It has like actual maps in there, a GPS, it does a heart rate monitor, and it records it all so that you can offload it afterwards. While the Sunto I use is my diving watch, so it does all my dive calculations for me. So I mean, there are different purposes to these watches.
Right. Do they tell the time?
And they still tell the time. You're gonna laugh. My actual wristwatch that I wear right now is very boring. It has no battery.
You just wear it for fashion purposes?
Well, it still tells the time, but it's not digital. You have to learn how to use the minutes and hour hands, right?
You know, it's funny though because
a lot of people can't tell the time anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My son, he's in his late 20s. He's wearing his watch, and I took a look at it, and it wasn't working. And it's an analog watch like that. Yeah. I said, well, what, you don't use it to tell time? No, I just like the fashion value. I just like the way it looks.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's nice to know. But in terms of these particular, like there's so many options right now. So how do you break it down? I mean, between the Samsungs and the Apples, and those are hooked up to your phone, and then you've got the other ones that aren't. How do you decide where to go with these things?
It really comes down to the activities that you want to do with the watches. So when it comes to that, the Apple Watch, as an example, is now into version 4, and it has a built-in cellular chip in it. So you can actually use it without your phone anymore. And it acts like a phone. It can connect to the internet and do stuff.
So you don't have to have your phone on you at all for
Not
this?
for the latest version of the Apple Watch as being displayed right now.
Okay.
There's also the Samsungs. There's Garmin, there's Fitbits, which are more fitness tracker than smartwatch. Whether they have GPS built in, if they're waterproof, do they have heart rate monitor? Can they have a Bluetooth connection to it? Do they have controls or not on it? Some of them don't even have a display mic. Like some of the Fitbits, they just track things, but other ones do actually have a nice display, or the size of the display. So there's actually a lot of features.
So the thing is, with the variety that is available today, unlike, let's say, even 2 years ago, it's really important if you decide you want to get one of these things to do your research, because you want it to have the variables and the types of things that you need.
Absolutely. What are the activities you're going to do with it, and what kind of features are important to you? And of course, budget.
What is the price range of these things?
Oh man, they go all over sub $100 into the multi-hundreds of dollars for some of these. I mean, the Apple Watch is not a cheap watch to buy.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, David. You can follow David on Twitter or check out his blog. We've got information up there on your screen. The blog is davidpapp.com. His Twitter handle is @DavidPapp.